Hi, this is Monica Packer from About Progress, and you're listening to The Messy Middle, a monthly series where I share some of my own messy middle so you can see what progress looks like for a real woman in real time. Welcome to June, and we made it through May. Should we all celebrate together? Honestly, May was a very good month. Just an all out sprint, which I ended up paying for this past weekend, hence the terrible voice, so my apologies for it. If I were to sum up what's happening in the Packer household, which is always our first segment in this series, it's been sports, 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 in addition to end of year, lots of everything concerts, plays, celebrations. My middle schooler ended school just a few days ago, but the rest of my kids, their last day is the day this airs, actually, Thursday. So I always record this a couple days in advance, of course. It was a lot of fun though, like, tons of sports. It gradually petered out over the month in terms of recreational sports ending, so things gradually got easier. I feel like it really started to get insane mid-April through mid-May, so it gradually got easier the second half of the month. But some fun things that happened, one is my oldest, a daughter, she's 13 right now, about to turn 14 in July. She's an 8th grader, so big things are coming up for her, but one of the coolest things is she won first place in this district/citywide art competition in conjunction with the police department. They were doing this campaign against bullying, and the art competition was all around, I think, everything in Salt Lake and maybe beyond. All the schools were participating in an art competition of something that would work in hand with that, like to encourage anti-bullying and to make it hand in hand with the police department. Anyway, I think I keep saying hand in hand, sorry about that, but anyway, she won first place overall and crazily enough won an iPad as part of that and a pizza party for her class, and the mayor came and all these people from the police department, and they actually called the whole school down to do an impromptu assembly for her and then did the pizza party, and her teacher sent me all these pictures, and I was just so overjoyed. Gosh, it's one of those things, even though I tend to speak more impromptu on these messy middles. I try not to talk too personally still about my kids, but she's been through so much, and I'm getting kind of emotional. Excuse me, the bullying stuff is really personal to her. And this is my kid who's autistic. One of the biggest reasons we moved all of a sudden at the beginning of COVID was because at that point, we were almost pulling her out of school to do homeschooling because she had been bullied so significantly by 3rd graders. Little kids, both physically and emotionally, mentally, like all those things, in ways that I now see in hindsight led to some post-trauma. Like she had some post-traumatic stress with it. That took several years to work through, and she also still had bullying in their new school, which is kind of part of the course for a lot of kiddos. In this case, it was more like emotional, but this class, she's been with the same class for now 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th year of the same class. It's how it's worked at the charter school we go to. They stay in the same class with the same teacher year after year. And I'm so proud of her, and I'm also proud of this class because it took several years, but they came around to really accept her and love her for who she is, and she has finally found her friends in that group, with a teacher who really protected her. So for her to win first place in this art campaign and competition that is anti-bullying seems especially neat, and cool. So I was really excited for her. In addition, she went on a full week river rafting trip with her class, which was amazing. Parents were not allowed, which honestly was the coolest. And she just came home like even more independent and self-sufficient and proud and confident. And yeah, I'm just really proud of her. She also acted as Crutchy in their Newsies production that her class put on and just totally stole the show. And I know I'm so biased, but she was the perfect Crutchy, and it was so fun to celebrate her. In addition, we got to celebrate my 6th grader. He finished his first year of middle school. He had this amazing band concert at the end. I was so blown away. I do not remember my band concerts being anywhere close to that good. That band director, who's also the orchestra director and like the choir director, he does that all, I think. He deserves a raise. I'm going to write him an email because he did such an amazing job. The music they did was Phenomenal. So impressed by all that they've done. Anyway, so that was really fun. He also had an honors award night. He got an award from his English teacher. I'm just, again, so proud of him. Of course, these kids still have struggles, and I'm not going to share those all here, but it was really fun to celebrate them. In addition to that, if we're going on like what's been exciting, my third made this competition soccer league. It's our first kid doing a comp league. He kind of got in there by the skin of his teeth. Someone else dropped out and he got in, and I was so excited because it was a 2-day tryout for him. And the first day went terribly, terribly. Like, he came to the car totally distraught because he said not a single kid passed the ball to him the whole time. And I was so upset at myself because I made him try out for this. But in the end, he squeaked on by and he got on a team, and I'm so excited for him. And then, everything else has just been my fourth and fifth kid are just doing the best they can, and we're getting through it. But my fourth kid has gotten sick a lot. He tends to, I think, because of his tummy issues. He had bowel surgery as an infant, and I think it's just ruined his ability to guard against viruses. He always gets really sick pretty easily, but he's on the tail end, and you know, so lots of good things. In addition to that, a ton of yard work. We had this weekend where we were going to host my son's baseball team, his rec team. Oh, by the way, they won the championship. I feel like this whole intro is like a big humble brag. But this is my baseball kiddo. He really loves baseball. My second oldest. They won the rec league, and I'm so excited for him. He's worked so hard. We won't let him do football because he had 2 concussions by the time he was 3, and he throws up like anytime his head gets even a little bit jostled. So we've really pushed him getting into baseball instead, and he liked it enough for us to do that. But football really was his biggest thing he wanted to do. But he's definitely worked really hard and gradually come over to baseball, and so I was especially excited for him to win the championship. So really fun things all around. But so I was trying to say we were going to host a party for that team. So the whole week leading up to it, Brad and I put in a ton of work. And I was so grateful for Brad because the yard has been such a source of great stress for me, in addition to desire. Like, I genuinely wanted to be better, but I can't do it all, and I can't do it by myself. So he and I just put in a week of work here and there, wherever we could. He like single-handedly spread all this bark and all these rocks and helped me weed a ton, while I also worked on setting up the garden. So things are planted and things are beginning to grow. But sadly, the Saturday we're supposed to host the party, it was like one after the other. My fourth kid had already been acting sick for the few days he'd been out of school, but I caught it, Brad caught it, the other kids caught it, and then so we had to cancel the party. But I was like, well, at least the yard looks good. At least the garden got put in place. And since then, everyone got sick, but I didn't get as bad as Brad it seemed. But then I just wasn't really getting better either. And then by the end of last week, I got really, really sick. And that's where I was like, okay, everything's bad. So I finally got tested, and I tested positive for strep. But now I'm, 3 days into my antibiotics, and I slept almost the whole weekend. I'm feeling lots better. So, lots of good things. I'm just really grateful overall for me. Grateful that we got through it. Grateful that we didn't buy a second car. It was really insane getting the kids everywhere they needed to be. Like, literally drove in circles a ton. But we made it through, and now we're just about to head into summer, and I am so excited for summer. I just finished the summer workshop, if you were able to attend that, and I'm getting more clarity on our own family and, reprinting some chore charts as we go for them and all of that. But and we're going to do our family meeting this coming Sunday about like the summer and everything we want to feel and the things we want to do and what it's going to look like in terms of rules and our routines. And I'm really eager to move into summer. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. In addition to that, some things have been wrapping up with my one-on-one clients, and it's been such a bittersweet thing to say goodbye to the clients that have been ready to graduate and move on. And also frees up some time for me this summer to be working on some big things that I'll share later, including stuff with the book and a trip to Italy and a conference. I'll share more about that at the end. So let's end this segment with some highs and lows. The highs: when we were not feeling well that weekend, we watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy as a family. And I have to tell you, it made my life. I don't know why. It made my life. I love Lord of the Rings, but I'm not like the super diehard, like Lord of the Rings, everything fan. But this viewing as a family basically made me that way. I loved it so much. It was too scary for my 7-year-old, so he got to watch shows on Brad's Kindle in our bedroom while we watched, so he was very content. Our toddler was coming in and out of playing and watching things, and he was, like, signing birds at the end when the Eagles came. That's all I'll say about that. And, like, hurt when people got hurt, so he was kind of into it, but not enough that it made him scared, but it was such a delight to watch that series, and I'm definitely wanting to get into the next one. And the lows for us is just getting sick, not being able to host people as we had planned on, but it does feel so good to get the garden in anyway, and while you're prepping for those things, that it's all fine, and I can't wait to begin to host people some more. So those are where the highs and lows and what's happening in the Packer household. The next segment is the Do Something List update. In this update of my Do Something List, I'm going to tell you what's been going on with me working on it. If you want an up-to-date look at how I'm doing, I've been updating that each month at aboutprogress.com/MonicaDSL2025. So that's where you'll be able to see how it's actually going. On the list, by the way, the Do Something list is a way for you to prioritize your daily fulfillment, to explore parts of yourself all outside of goals and resolutions. And you can make your own DSL by going to aboutprogress.com/DSL. It has changed lives in our community, mine included. So on my list was to make something new each month, like bake-wise, and I baked a sourdough braided loaf for someone who had a baby, and I also baked some sourdough breadsticks, also for that same woman. We brought her one meal, and then my husband, alongside a bunch of 12-year-olds at our church, made a meal for her too. So I added some breadsticks to go with that. So it was really fun. In addition to that, I have been wanting to do more creative projects and sew something for myself. So what I actually did is I bought a quilting course. It's called the Beginning Quilting Academy with, lo and behold, Stitchery. None of that is sponsored. I paid for it myself, but I just thought a course would be a good way for me to get back into sewing. And I think instead of sewing something for myself, like I put on my Do Something list, I'm going to say sew a quilt. So that's really exciting. And I took out my sewing machine last night. It hasn't been working well for a couple of years. That's why I haven't used it in many years. So my mom said there might be something wrong with the tension. So I'm going to fiddle around with it and see if it really is a tension. And if it's indeed broken, it was a fairly cheap, sewing machine from Costco, bought 17, 18 years ago when we first got married. So my mom gave that to us as a gift for Christmas the year after we got married. Anyway, I feel content about getting a good sewing machine off of Facebook Marketplace. I've been watching for those in my area, so I think I'm going to get one there. Another thing on my list was to make bouquets for my garden. And while my garden flower seeds are already popping up a week later after putting seeds in the ground, my roses have been doing really well, and my peonies are so beautiful. So I've already made a couple bouquets from there. So I feel like I'm already halfway to being able to check that one fully off. Another thing on my list was to read a physical book. I did finish Half Shadow. I don't have it up here, but it was one of my things on the Read the Shelf challenge where for the supporters club, I am reading everything in the bottom of my shelf. Not everything. I'm trying to read more physical books, and I'm pulling from what's on that shelf. And that was one of the things I bought or I picked off the shelf, and it was terrible. I don't recommend it. It was such a slog to get through that book. I think it was like almost 400 pages, but it was just not well done. So I don't recommend it. Half Sick of Shadow, I think that's what it was called. And it's about like King Arthur and his friends, and written from one of the women's point of view, but it just wasn't good. But I am also halfway through The Difficult Child, which is pretty good. I don't like how it's written, but there's a lot of things I'm extracting from there that are already helping out in shaping the lives of some of my kids are very spicy and challenging in their own beautiful ways. So it's handy, but I don't super love that book either. But again, handy. And then I have a monthly project, a home project on my Do Something list. In April, I did my boy's room. His hanging chair did come in like a week ago that I need to hang up, but that's pretty much done. For May, I decided the garden was my monthly project just because it takes a great deal of time to like add in soil and put the drip lines back in and plant everything because there's 16 garden boxes. So I'm just really proud that I finally got across that finish line. So that's it in terms of what I've done. What I'm doing this next couple months is hiking. I'm going to go on hikes with my friends and my family. My home project is I'm going to work on Brad's office next. I told you I was going to get started on that and turn it into being in the garden instead. I get to go on my me day, which is a whole day where I just get to do what I want. Sometimes it's just a couple hours long. Some days it's a full day. We haven't figured that out totally yet, but I typically take mine around my birthday, which is not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, the 14th. So I'm going to get together with Brad and kind of put that on the calendar on when I can do that and how long it can be and design that for myself. And then the things I want to reprioritize are the master classes. I did one of those and I want to do 2 more for the year. So I want to prioritize just one of those this month. And then practicing the piano again. I totally fell off the wagon with that, and that's okay. It was a really intense month, and it was actually really intense, like winter and now into spring because of coaching clients. And thankfully, my toddler is taking naps half the time now, which is helpful. But as you guys know, that really him not napping meant I lost 6 hours of work time a week, which meant I can't do things like practice the piano because I don't really have the time. But with the summer and most of my coaching clients coming to an end and not taking on new clients in the summer, I have still my babysitter coming 6 to 9 hours a week. So I'll be able to have more time to actually get all my work done during that time so I can hopefully practice the piano more. So that's all of the plans for my do something list. That's it for the do something list update. The next segment is make it a habit. In this segment, I share about habits that are going well and some that are not going well. Going well right now is going to bed. It's still going strong, especially because I was sick. I really made sure to prioritize getting a lot of sleep. But I just think overall, I wanted to just say, throughout the whole year, I'm really proud of myself for working on prioritizing going to bed. I do still feel like that's also a habit that's not so well in terms of there's still some things to tweak and to really prioritize going to bed at that early hour still. And perhaps even earlier going into the summer because I need to keep my early wake up time so I can work on writing my book still with summer. What's not going so well are date nights with Brad. That's a weekly habit that we go on a date night each Saturday most of the time. And again, May was too intense for us to be able to do that. So I want to make sure we reprioritize that and put that back on the list. That's it for Make It a Habit. The next segment is the book watch. I always thought a financial planner was reserved for the wealthy people, or else it was a surefire way to get scammed with salespeople disguising themselves as advisors. For those reasons, I long discounted us from securing a financial planner. And yet, I long carried a great deal of anxiety, worrying over if we were doing okay financially, both at present and for our future, and even how to have plans in place if something were to happen to me or to Brad. Last year, we began meeting with our financial advisor, Elizabeth, from Fearless Finance, and I truly wish we had started much, much sooner. As a fee-based only company, financial planners from Fearless Finance aren't going to sell you things or work off of commission. Their goal is to democratize the financial industry, empowering people with the literacy and the know-how they need to achieve more financial security. You don't need to have a certain number in your bank account. You don't need to be worried about being judged. You just show up with your questions and get the soundest advice possible on how to reach your goals, and all charged by the hour down to the quarter hour. Whether you're looking to pay off student loans, buy a house, or just want to make sure your finances are okay, they can answer your questions. No question is too small. No problem is too big. Visit fearlessfinance.com today. You can chat with the planner for free to make sure it's a good fit, and you'll get $50 off your first planning meeting when you use the code PROGRESS. Again, go to fearlessfinance.com and use the code PROGRESS. This podcast is sponsored by Go Pure Beauty. You may already know this about me, but I love skincare. I have been so hyper diligent about taking care of my face since my early 20s thanks to a great dermatologist I happened to visit at the time. But guess what I forgot about for most of those years? My neck. Did you forget too? The skin on your neck is thinner, more delicate, and less oily than facial skin, so it requires special care. That's why Go Pure Beauty developed their revolutionary Tighten and Lift Neck Cream. Powered by clinically proven active ingredients, this advanced formula is designed to visibly firm, smooth, and rejuvenate the delicate skin on your neck and chest in as little as 4 to 8 weeks. I've been using the Tighten and Lift Neck Cream, and I've been loving it. The silky texture is so nice. My very sensitive skin has responded to it very well. And that's thanks to it being paraben and sulfate-free and made without harsh chemicals. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off GoPure with code PROGRESS at checkout. And GoPure isn't just about your neck. They have a full line of science-backed skin and body care to brighten, hydrate, and restore your glow from head to toe. From powerful vitamin C serums to deeply hydrating retinol moisturizers, every product is packed with clean, effective ingredients that deliver real results. With over 1 million jars sold, this beauty secret is no longer a secret. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off GoPure with code PROGRESS at checkout. Just head to gopurebeauty.com/progress, use code PROGRESS, and you're all set. And after you buy, do us a favor. When they ask where you heard about GoPure, tell them it was from our show. One of the ways I'm filling my cup is returning more to my teaching roots and offering affordable online workshops to this community on very niche topics that I know you both want and need. I recently did the How to Dream Again workshop, helping women gain clarity on what more they want in their lives. And coming up, I'll be teaching the Best Summer Ever workshop, practically guiding women to craft a summer for the scrapbooks. More online workshops are coming, but you can get information on and access to these workshops and the replays by going to aboutprogress.com/workshops. For just $17, you can invest some time and thought into making progress in your life and in ways per usual to this community that are both deep and practical. Again, check out what's available by going to aboutprogress.com/workshops, and workshops is plural. In this segment, I tell you about how things are going with the book that I am writing. There are some big things in the works since my last messy middle, and I can't say too much yet, which I know is so dumb. Get on the book launch committee because I'm going to be sending out an email hopefully later this week around when this airs, or actually probably after. I'll wait till after so that way some people can sign up. How about we say early the week after this airs? I have some big things that are coming. Big things, surprising things, things that I never thought would be possible. So stay tuned for that. I have something, some special updates and some tea to spill that I'll only share to the book launch committee after, because obviously this is going to air before I'm able to, but hopefully even next month, I'll be able to share more things on a messy middle with that. But just know this is the thing that I'm like, wow, maybe this is the tipping point of almost 9 years of work with a podcast, 9+ years of work with About Progress as a platform, period. Maybe this is all building up to something like this actually being like flowing and being easy and bigger than I ever thought it could have been. I had started this book just thinking it was going to be self-published, and it's looking like it's going to be traditionally published, is what I can tell you. And in ways that were not as hard fought for as I thought they would have to be to get to that case or to that place, which is unusual and has never happened in almost 9 years of work. So it's both thrilling and kind of intimidating at the same time. So more to come. To get on the book launch committee, go to aboutprogress.com/book committee. We'll have that linked in the show notes, and I will send out an email early the week after this airs just for that committee, and hopefully I'll have more to share publicly soon. That's it for the book watch. The next segment is what I'm loving lately. Let's start with free. What I'm loving lately is being able to sit with Brad in these outdoor Andrianic, I don't know how to pronounce it. Those like kind of outdoor chairs that kind of lean back. We have 2 out front that are kind of paired between this like cute little hanging flower basket or on either side of it in our front yard where we get to just sit in the cool evening hours and talk. And last night we did it while eating ice cream. And unfortunately, my body can't handle ice cream all the time. Like I can only handle like once or twice a week at very most, just because my stomach doesn't like it. But I think we're going to have like a little treat or chocolate or something each night and just sit out there and chat. And we just even being able to do that last night felt so good. And I can't wait to do that all summer long with him. Another thing I'm loving is I totally got on the weighted vest train. I bought mine about 3 weeks ago. I just got a 12-pounder. Some people are like 60 pounds. I'm like, whoa. I can't do that, but a 12-pounder, I started by, like, walking just, like, a mile or 2, and then I would take it off if my back was hurting or I just felt more tired, and, before you I knew it, like, I could do my whole walk while I work time with the weighted vest on. I don't care if it's a trend. I do not care if everybody and their sister and dog are doing it. I love it. I think it's a great way for me to add in a little bit more strength stuff while I walk. If you don't know, in the early morning hours, the first thing I do is after I wake up very really early, usually around 5, I just come up and I walk on my treadmill while I work. I just put on a table leaf on the arms of my treadmill and made sure it's nice and steady, and I have, like, a little laptop kind of platform to go on top of it, and, I just walk really slowly while I work. Usually 3 miles an hour, sometimes it's 2.5 or 2. If I get tired, I just put it down. It's no big deal. And, what's been great about that is I can get carried away riding, so if I end up just riding all morning until I need to get my kids up, it's good. I got my exercise in, and so adding the weighted vest helps out with that. I really love it. Another thing I'm loving is, this dress I got from Alex Mill. Alex Mill is normally very expensive, but I got this dress for sale, and I think it's still on clearance. It's like the ribbed perfect dress, I think that's what they call it. Short sleeved, it's ribbed. Normally, I don't get anything ribbed because it's too clingy. This is not. It's like it's structured, but loose without being too loose and big. I got it in, like, this beautiful cobalt blue, wore it for Memorial Day weekend, and I loved it so much that I was like, "Brad, I'm gonna get it in the black too." So that's what I got for my own birthday present. I was like, "I'm gonna get this will be for my birthday." I also got 3 pairs of shoes during the Memorial Day sale, like, I got the Sambas, I got another kind of Adidas, and I got some Vionic ones, but I'm gonna come back and report on those because I need to wear them more, but so far I'm loving them. But go check out Alex Mill in the sale section and get that dress and twin with me because it is so great, and I think it's just gotta be so flattering for everybody. That's it for what I'm living lately. The next up is On My Mind. This is where I just share what's going on my mind, and the biggest thing on my mind right now is my female foodie tour to Italy. If you haven't heard this on the ads, I am partnering up with Female Foodie to host a tour to Rome, Italy in the fall of 2026. And because these tours have to be, booked out so far in advance, like they're already putting down payments everywhere, it actually goes for sale September of this year, 2025. And there are 24 spots open. And I have to tell you, this is a tour just for us, just for the About Progress community. That's not for sale to the rest of the Female Foodie group. And I say that because their tours get sold in minutes, literal minutes. Her tours sell out. But it's so cool that I get to host a tour with just our community. And that means I get to also add my special touch to it. And there's going to be some fun things I want to keep as surprises for the special touch. But I'm also thinking of other things, like maybe we can have a little workshop one night. And maybe I can host some walk and talk coaching calls with a few people there, stuff like that, just as special touches. But I'm toying around with those things. And the Female Foodie tours are a 7-night accommodations, really excellent food, really good places that you stay, 3 nights in Rome, 4 nights in a villa nearby Rome too. So you get to kind of experience the best of both worlds, both with the urban and the rural settings. And their food is, of course, going to be amazing. But even more so, Brooke has told me that one of the biggest things that women say they love about these tours is being totally taken care of. You only have to worry about getting to Italy, and we as a tour worry about everything else. And Female Foodie has been so successful with these tours. They've got them down pat. A team member of theirs is going to join me and help lead the tour while we're there. So like, I'm not sitting there and coming up with itineraries, like that's all taken care of. But we just get to go there and eat and walk and learn and enjoy sights together. But the biggest thing is to be taken care of. And that's on my mind because I just announced it today. I just shared it on an email and on Instagram. And I'm also going to be honest, I'm very nervous about it. While I'm so excited, I'm equally nervous. And it's because Female Foodie has taken a bet on the That Progress community. The other women that they are partnering with to do similarly partnered tours are mega influencers, very, very big. Their tours, they've already opened out, sold out in minutes. And in comparison, we are tiny, 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 like micro community. Now, I and with Brooke and her confidence in our community that we are an amazing community and very tight knit, and there's so much potential there for us to join together. But it's still nerve wracking for me to be like, hey, are we going to, there's only 24 spots, but this is an investment of time and money. And while, by the way, the investment is still like I'm paying the same amount to go on a 4-night tour to England this fall with another group, um, and the same price as a 7-night accommodation trip to Italy. The pricing is so fair. I have to be honest, it's a very fair pricing, even though it's not cheap. It's an investment for sure. It's so fairly priced if you know anything about tours like this. Anyway, it's still like a big thing for me to believe that 24 people would want to come on a tour with me and that they'd be willing to spend that time and that money and the energy to get there. So I have this imposter side of me that's just really nervous and being like, what if we don't sell out the spots? And what if it's like a risk that wasn't worth it for them? But I I I know that's just the imposter side of me. It's going to be an amazing tour. The way we're doing it is you have to get on the wait list. And that's so that we can ensure that just this community is getting access to the sale, and also to gauge if if we have enough numbers to host the tour. There's 24 spots, but we'll go, if not every single one of those sell, but we need to have most of them sold. So that way is going to make sure that we do get there. That's the Bat Parks community, and that it's going to, that we're going to have the numbers that we need to get there. So to get on it, you got to go to aboutprogress.com/Italy. The waitlist will open September 9th, and then whatever's left over will go to the broader About Progress community, meaning the general public. But if you get on the wait list, we're also going to do a special Q&A night with Brooke. Now, just so you know, this is a partnered tour with Female Foodie. They're planning and taking care of everything that way. They're going to, one of their team members is going to join us on the tour and take charge of everything. And they're used to doing it. They've done it time after time, and people come back on the tour over and over because they're so well done. But Brooke is not going to be on the actual tour. This is partly why they're partnering with people, so that more of these Female Foodie tours can go out without Brooke necessarily needing to be there each time. But it's her company, it's her tours. So anyway, she is going to do a Q&A call though with me to answer all your questions. So anyway, that's big on my mind. Go to aboutprogress.com/Italy to get on the wait list. And I am trusting that this is one of those things that my own imposter syndrome is getting in the way of me leading into the excitement as fully as I should be. And I'm betting I'm going to be surprised by how quickly that wait list fills up, and that the spots get taken the day they go open on September 9th. So I hope that you can be one of them. And you do need a friend to join you on the group. They do a companion style that's just built in fun and companionship and also protection. It's a Female Foodie tour. It's women only. So you do need to have a friend. If you have more than a couple friends, more than a friend who want to join you, you get advanced entry before the wait list even. So if you have two or more, more than two that want to join you on the group, let me know and we'll take care of you ahead of time. Okay, that's it for what's on my mind. The last segment is about Progress is Progress. In this segment, I just get to tell you how we're doing as a community. A quick update on the supporters. I always like to start there. How are we doing with the Supporters Club? Right now, we have 187 members, which is so fun. We had a few more join us this month, I think primarily to listen to the GLP-1 episode. Coming up on More Personal, which is that's my private premium podcast for just bestie and ride or die levels of the Supporters Club. On More Personal, I think Taylor and I are going to have a discussion about the latest season in Real Housewives. No, what is it called? Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I know, such a dumb title, but anyway, that was a really popular episode when it first came out, when we recorded our thoughts on that. So we're going to record our thoughts on it too. So that's coming up, and we're going to do a hike soon in June. I'm going to set a date for that. And I'm also going to set the date for our garden party that we'll do in August. So lots coming up there. I just hosted the Best Summer Ever workshop, and that's now available for you to still get as a virtual workshop. So go to aboutprogress.com/workshops and you can see all that. And workshops is plural. It was such a great time. I loved connecting with real women in this community. It's so great to see you face to face. And if you want that to plan your summer, it's there for you. I have some big things coming up though. This summer, I am trying to slow down in a couple things. I'm going to tell you more about that in a second because I am planning a big conference this fall. It's an online summit, but higher quality. I have some huge names who've already signed up in ways that have been so thrilling and surprising to me. And it's for you. It's for you moms who are listening, especially for moms who want more in their lives. More happiness, more health, more hobbies, more home life, improvement, um, more habits. Did I ever say that? Anyway, it's going to be so special. I'll be able to formally announce it soon, but that's coming up, so stay tuned. A couple other quick updates. One is we have shifted our ads. I don't know if you've noticed, but typically in the episodes in the past, there were like 2 or 3 ads that were not me reading them, like a actual commercial is what it sounded like before the episode started. And I just decided to do away with those completely because I've now added a little preview at the beginning. So that way we can just go right into the episode and then go, there will of course be a mid-roll ad before the main body of the episode, and then a mid-roll ad midway through that body, and then a couple ads at the end, but that just feels better. I think the flow is better, so I'm excited about that. We are going to be introducing this Saturday a new Saturday episode series, and it's going to be called A Hug and a Kick. And it's kind of representative of that final send-off I always give on the main episodes. Like, I hope this episode gave you a hug and a kick in the pants that you need to grow. It's going to be that. It's going to be a 5 to 10 minute episode that is just meant to give you a bit of motivation, but also a bit of like understanding and compassion as the weekend starts for you. And that's going to be easy for us to prepare. We're pulling from our archive. It's going to be just like, hey, a little preview of not a preview, but an excerpt from an episode from our archive, which is very extensive. We're coming up on 700 episodes, if you can believe. So that's going to happen this Saturday. My team member, Andy, is taking care of that. She's an incredible podcaster herself, the Friendly Podcast Guide, if you ever want to check her out. She's taking over those Saturday episodes fully. And so it won't be a tremendous amount of work on our end, but should hopefully give you a little boost for the weekend. And just a quick heads up, July, we're going to be airing encore episodes, except for my private premium podcast, More Personal. So that way I can have the time that I need to really work on this conference that's going to come up in the fall, this online conference for us. In addition to that, I'm going to do one more workshop in, I think, June or July. And then it's clear August, September, because we have the conference coming up in October and we have the Italy sale happening in September too. So be sure that you're following along. You can check out the workshops again at aboutprogress.com/workshops. And also be sure you're following us on YouTube, which is really important right now. The more we're close to getting the subscriber amount that we're supposed to get in order to start qualifying for ads there. And so we're really close, but we also need more watch time there. So if you are a YouTube kind of or video person, follow me on there and watch the show on there. Before we wrap up, I always like to end with the review of the month. And this is where I just share a review that was left on Apple Podcasts. And if you recognize this review, please email me at hello@aboutprogress.com. And that way I can send you a little thank you gift. This one is by the reviewer named Kokupi, Kocupi. And she says, I often feel a little bit lonely around lunchtime, but don't want to use screens often in front of my baby. So About Progress has become a welcome friend in my house. I love the breadth of episodes, but also the depth that each one goes into. Monica is an excellent host with a warm, cheerful, encouraging personality. She has wonderful tips, and I always leave the episodes feeling a little lighter and more motivated to improve myself. A truly delightful podcast. Thank you so much. This was, again, Kokupi, left in November of 2024. And again, email me at hello@aboutprogress.com if you recognize your review, and I'll send you a thank you gift. And speaking of reviews, it's my birthday month. So as part of that, if you want to say happy birthday to me in a way that's going to benefit the show, take a minute to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Doing so automatically qualifies you for the giveaway I do each fall around our year anniversary mark. But it also benefits the show so much. We've only had 2 reviews left this year so far, and we have, tens of thousands of downloads. So like each month. So hundreds of thousands of downloads so far this year. So please take a moment to do that. It would be so helpful for the show. Even a few lines really help. So you can do that on Apple Podcasts. Again, that'd be so helpful. Beyond that, I think that's it for everything. I am so appreciative of all you've done to support the show, which, by the way, you can always do for free. listening, sharing, leaving your reviews, and subscribing and watching us on YouTube are so helpful to supporting this show. And thank you very much for doing so. That's it for this month's Messy Middle. Again, forgive me for the voice. And I hope listening in gives you the courage to lean into your own messy middle today.